In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
Hey! Whoa, 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 hey! What's up?
Go now.
Deobra Redden, a 30-year-old facing charges for attempted battery in Nevada, was in court for sentencing. He had pleaded guilty to attacking a man with a baseball bat and faced a potential prison sentence of 1 to 4 years. At the hearing, he had a calm and matter-of-fact exchange with Clark County District Judge Mary Kay Holthus.
Based on my criminal history, I feel that I shouldn't be sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history? Have you looked at your criminal history?
Actually just, I looked at it.
I mean, you lived it, I suppose.
I just looked at it,
Yeah.
Judge Holthus then proceeded to remind Redden of his prior criminal history.
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs. Got a lot going on, sir.
Yeah, I just figured
battery on a protected person, robberies, attempt home invasion.
Redden, who struggled with mental health issues such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, attempted to convince the judge that he was turning his life around and deserved a second chance.
I feel like I shouldn't be sent to prison, but if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. But I figured that, if I'm in a better place in my life, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not out there committing crimes now, and I feel like I should be given a shot because I'm in a better place than I was.
However, Judge Holthus was not persuaded by his appeals.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
At that moment, the situation escalated violently. Redden suddenly leaped over the courtroom bench and charged directly toward Judge Holthus. Deputies rushed to restrain him as courtroom alarms sounded and people called for help.
That's affirmative medical is requested. Judge's chambers.
Yeah, be advised. 515's got a big laceration to his head. Judge hit her head into the wall, and I got an inmate that's bleeding up here.
It's going to be a positive transport to UMC for a marshal.
Be advised, I'm also going to need a biohazard cleanup for a lot of blood on the floor.
It was later reported that Redden allegedly punched Judge Holthus and pulled out portions of her hair. One marshal sustained a forehead injury requiring 25 stitches and a dislocated shoulder. Several days later, Redden reappeared in court for his initial sentencing, heavily shackled and wearing a spit mask.
Good morning. All right, this is on for the continuation of Mr. Redden's sentencing. For purposes of the record, I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions. All right, that being said, in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court does now sentence you in addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, $150 DNA fee, the $3 DNA administrative assessment fee, and $250 indigent defense fee, 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections.
Following the attack, Redden now faces 13 new charges related to the assault on Judge Holthus, including attempted murder, battery, and extortion by threat. If convicted, he could spend decades in prison. While Deobra Redden's case is a prime example of a defendant's violent outburst in court, he is not alone. In a similar case, Melissa Hardwick was in Russell and Wayne County Family Court in Kentucky for a domestic violence hearing after her ex-husband filed a protective order against her.
Your statements in your petition as part of your testimony, but I need you to tell me briefly, in your own words, what happened to cause you to ask for a domestic violence order.
Yes, Your Honor. Things have been escalating, I guess, since the first of the year, and Melissa's had a couple MIWs and a couple arrests, and she got out of jail in, I guess, April, and she started, we hadn't really had anything personal up until that point. She got out of jail in April.
As her ex-husband was explaining the situation to the judge, Melissa suddenly erupted in anger.
My personal life is
No.
your business. It has nothing to do with
Miss
you
Hardwick,
boys. No.
you will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to him.
She will be arrested for contempt of the court.
It doesn't make any difference.
You will serve 10 days for contempt of court.
She was immediately arrested for contempt and sentenced to 10 days in jail. The situation then escalated when Hardwick attempted to leapfrog over a table towards the judge. Thankfully, court deputies intercepted her in time, though they could not stop her from shouting verbal threats.
Go now.
As a result of her actions, Melissa Hardwick faced additional criminal charges.
Wait and see. Get my bracelet off the floor.
She was eventually sentenced to 120 days in prison for her courtroom outburst. While Hardwick's sentence was relatively light for such an incident, other defendants have committed different, yet equally disrespectful, acts. One such case is that of Base Webb, a 30-year-old who appeared in court on attempted murder charges. CCTV footage showed Webb, a former inmate, intentionally using his car to hit two prison workers. One managed to dodge the vehicle, but the other was struck.
A new judge will have to be appointed to represent because she will be charged criminally for the threats that were made in open court today.
Webb was arrested and produced in court before Judge Vanessa Dixon. Because she knew the two jail employees, Judge Dixon decided to recuse herself from the case.
Yes.
What Webb did next shocked the entire courtroom. He spat directly on Judge Dixon, clearly taking her by surprise. After initially dismissing him, the judge had Webb brought back, formally charged him with contempt, and removed him from the courtroom. This was not the end of Webb's defiance. While awaiting trial, he started a riot at the Fayette County Detention Center. Corrections officers used beanbag bullets and pepper balls to subdue him, and in retaliation, Webb swung a metal telephone box at an officer, resulting in new charges and a 15-year sentence.
There's no way I'm going to try this case or have any further proceedings, or I have to see you for one further second.
Additionally, Webb was convicted of attempting to murder the two jail employees and received an additional 37 years, bringing his total sentence to 52 years. During this time, new evidence emerged linking Webb to the unsolved murder of his ex-girlfriend, Bria Rowitz. While incarcerated, he had bragged to a detective about the murder. To avoid the death penalty, Webb pleaded guilty and was given an additional 50 years in prison. 5 years later, another cold case resurfaced, and he was charged with the murder of another ex-girlfriend, Sabrina Vaughn. At this court appearance, Webb displayed a sinister tattoo on his head, a murder hit list of people he intended to kill, including judges, prosecutors, cops, and the media, with 3 names already crossed out. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
You have found the defendant guilty of the offense of intentional murder.
Base Webb's audacious and violent acts in the courtroom shocked the legal system and the public, cementing his notoriety.